In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know about linked lists to get started implementing them in your software. So if you're a student like me and you need to learn linked lists for college, or you need to learn linked lists for your coding interview, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's start earning. So a linked list is basically a data structure where the elements in it are not stored at contiguous memory locations. So basically, in an array, imagine this box where I draw is my memory. If you had an array of, let's say, these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, these numbers would be stored at contiguous memory locations. For example, if these are blocks of memory and you have more blocks here, etc., this will be stored at contiguous memory locations like this, so just next to each other. But with a linked list, it's different. That's the first difference you need to know about linked list and array. So without that out of the way, with linked list, what you need to know is that a linked list contains of elements called nodes. So let's say this is a node, and basically one node or one element in the linked list consists of data inside. Of course, you need to store some data. That's the point. And let me change the size, or just let me draw it somewhat bigger so it's easier for you to see. I should have remembered that, but as you can guess, I'm not that big of a YouTuber. So a node, this is a node, and basically a node has data in its first layer, and basically it contains this is not a layer, but just it contains data and a link, and you'll see what a link is in just a bit. So with data, what you have here, data can be everything. It ranges from an integer like 1, 3, 5. It can be a string like something like subscribe, and it can also be some custom class like dog, let's say. It can be any data you want. So basically, a linked list contains one or more of these nodes. Basically, the elements of a linked list are nodes. So here what I want to do is just for now draw a how would linked list look. First we have this first node that points to this second node, and here we have a linked list already from 2 elements. And remember how I said that I will explain what a link is? Remember that here we have some data, and also here we had some link. Well, basically this link is just a pointer to the second node in the list, or to the node next to each other. And remember, those nodes doesn't have to be in contiguous memory locations. So this one node can be here, and this second node can be here in memory, or here, or whatever. Because every node has a link that points to the second node, or to the node next to each other, I should say, then that's why they don't have to be in contiguous memory location. They can be anywhere pretty much, in the memory of course. So the next thing you probably need to know is that there are different types of linked lists. So basically there is this most famous type, I would say, which is just a single linked list. And there is some other type which is double linked list, and you'll see what this means now. A single linked list is just a list like I draw before, with only the navigation going in one direction. So as you can see, you can only move forward in this single linked list. In a double linked list, that's different. You can move both forward and backwards. So navigation goes something like this forward, but you can also go backwards. So the node, that's why the node contains data. It contains a pointer to the next node, but it also contains a node to the previous node. So you know how to go back to it. Now you may wonder, well, why do you need linked lists when we already had an array? Isn't it similar to an array? Well, the core differences are written here. So basically, a linked list size it's not fixed. It can expand. So when you declare a linked list, and let's say I have a class called SLL, which stands for single linked list, and this is the class which from I initialize my single linked list. So I would say something like this: SSL, and then name my list something like list, then equals to new, and I'm writing this in Java, by the way. So new SSL, and now you don't have to specify here some number like 5. There's no need to specify a fixed size, so you can expand on it. And in an array, it's more difficult. With an array, you had to specify the fixed size of an array and how much space you would like for the array in your memory. With a linked list, that's not the case. Other things I want to point out that are different from an array and from other data structures are that linked list navigation is only forward, or at least that's with the case of a single linked list. The next thing is that the items are not indexed. So basically, let me draw a list once again, and basically if you wanted to get to this element, and let's give them data like 1, 3, 5, and 7, just so I don't be boring and type in 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to get to this, and let me change just color, and if you want to get to this element, to get to it you cannot, because the items are not indexed. What you need to do is traverse over the linked list by going first to the first element, then to the second, and then finally you got to the third element, which is 5. You cannot say give me this element at index 2. So if this is 1, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. Then if you want to access the value at the index 2, you need to type in something like this in an array, but in a linked list that's not possible, so you would have to traverse over the array. That's one thing that's a disadvantage in a linked list. But the main advantage with a linked list is that you can expand it, so you can, as I said previously, so you can add in here one element, and you can add in second element and third element, etc. And how would you do this in practice? How would you use linked lists? I'll cover in my next video. I'll use a class called SSL, and I'll solve in Java, and I'll solve just a very simple exercise or task for you. Very simple, just to get our hands wet. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about what is a linked list. Thank you all for watching, and peace out.